What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Bluff Guy. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece chapter reaction. Today we will be reacting to One Piece chapter 1077. And the title of this chapter is You Should Have Put It Together Sooner. Question is, what do we put together sooner? So it's a it's interesting statement, I guess. Now, before we get into the chapter, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, make sure you comment down below your thoughts on the chapter, your thoughts on the reaction. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What did I miss? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. The Discord is going to be the best place to get at me, even better than my other social media, right? It's also a place where you can send me content to react to, and if you want to be if you want to join a future reaction stream, or not a future reaction, but a future discussion stream, you must be a member of the Discord. All right, so y'all know what we here for. We here for One Piece chapter that just recently dropped. Like I said, it is chapter 1077. You should have put it together sooner. And the cover page, we have both Caesar and Judge. I was about to say Queen. So I'm assuming we're back to the current, right? Like before in the cover pages, the cover story, we were looking at like some of the history with Vegapunk and Mads and all that. I think the last one was Vegapunk going to see the Gorosei. So we got a little history, but now we're in the current day, the present time, where the Germa 66, the Vinsmoke siblings, right, Sanji's siblings, they escaped Whole Cake Island, and they took Caesar with them. And I think the last we seen from this story, at least the modern story, Caesar and Judge were arguing. They were fighting, and I think Judge forgot who Caesar was. I don't know. I would think that Caesar would have forgot who Judge was, because Judge looked more different. When you look at Judge back then and Judge now, he had a bigger change in image compared to Caesar, but yet Judge, it seemed like Caesar knew who Judge was, but Judge forgot about Caesar, right? So, yeah. But this one, we got Judge and Caesar. Look like they both have these big ass knots on their head, and they're out of breath, like they were scuffling. Both of them were thinking of Vegapunk in their head. We see the castle in the background looks to be damaged. I'm assuming from this fight that ensued. We got, is that Ichiji? Yeah, I think that's Ichiji, because it looked like it's a 1 on his cape. So we got Ichiji and Beiju in the back. And the title of this cover page is "Wait a Sec, It's All Vegapunk's Fault." So what? It's looking like that they maybe came to an agreement or an understanding. You know, like before they were fighting each other for whatever reason. Maybe they had some dispute from back in the old Mads days. But, you know, based on the title of this cover page, it looked like that they come to an understanding, and they both have a common disagreement, I guess, with Vegapunk. There's something, or hatred, I guess. I don't want to say hatred. I don't know if they hate Vegapunk, but they both have a common understanding that whatever this disagreement with them, it's Vegapunk's fault. So yeah, that's why they're both thinking of Vegapunk, and because now they have this mutual understanding that might actually bloom into a partnership or an alliance between them, which I already kind of knew was going to eventually happen. That we was going to get Caesar and Judge form this alliance. Now the next step that I hope is that this alliance somehow comes back into the story. Maybe a reunion with Vegapunk. Maybe I would like to see Queen as well, like get the whole Maz thing together. But I don't know if Queen, if it's going to be possible. Queen, seeing how he's imprisoned in Wano. Last we seen the Queen, he got most his life force drained from Green Bull. I don't think he's dead, but he's incapacitated and he's locked up. So I don't know how Queen get out of that. Unless maybe Momonosuke sees some value in like releasing Queen and using Queen's scientific expertise. That's possible, right? Maybe Momonosuke gives Queen and King a chance, to serve him or something. We could see King and Queen back in the story sometime working for Momonosuke and Jack as well. But I wouldn't count on that though. I wouldn't count on that. But I'm just trying to give some leeway for Queen to come back into the story and have a full Maz reunion with Caesar, Judge, Vegapunk, Queen. You know what I mean? But I do think somehow this little alliance that could happen between Judge and Caesar, I do think that it could eventually come back to it could culminate with Vegapunk, right? Now I'm not saying it's going to be an alliance with Vegapunk, but it could come back to Vegapunk, right? To where they meet Vegapunk again, and I don't think they'll fight. Maybe they'll fight at first, but maybe eventually they come to an understanding and they work together. Maybe they work together to come up with some countermeasure for the Seraphim. Just saying. But yeah, let's get into this chapter. We are at the Fabrio Stratum Egghead. And it says, what is Sentomaro thinking? And we see a bubble with Sentomaro in it. He says, you guys have to get off of this island. So, did he meet back up with the Straw Hats and the other Vegapunks? Whoever he's talking to says, huh? Okay, so we see these lab workers. So we're seeing the lab workers, and they do indeed look sentient and human for the most. Some of them at least, some of them. And if they were all robotic or robots or androids or something, I wouldn't think Sentomaro would necessarily care because, they're not exactly living per se. But, yeah, he's telling them to get off this island, though. And it's nice because it almost seemed like they was just trying to get Vegapunk out and screw all the other people on the island. You know what I mean? Like, screw all the workers. Screw them. The world government could take them. Vegapunk's the only one we got. Vegapunk's the only one they care about, right? And if it almost makes you think, are these actually people or are they like all androids? But I'm thinking that they're people because Sentomaro's actually telling them like, hey, y'all gotta get off the island. If they were androids, I don't think Sentomaro would necessarily care because they're not necessarily living or alive. But Sentomaro cares enough to tell them to get off the island. So that makes me think that yes, they are or they are like living, organic, right? The worker says, what are you talking about, Sentomaro? Tell us, what's going on here? Why did you deploy the Pacifista? And Sentomaro says, there was once an island called Ohara. Oh boy, don't tell me we about to get some Ohara stuff. Is Sentomaro going to tell us something we don't know about Ohara? Or is he just going to tell us what happened, He says, one day out of nowhere, it was wiped off the map. All because the people there opposed the world government. Oh. This gotta be this explanation Sentomaro gives, it has to mean something. Is Sentomaro the traitor? I don't think Sentamaro's a traitor because he's below the Vegapunks, right? He's below in the hierarchy the Seraphim hierarchy, right? So if he would have gave those Seraphim the order, then when we seen Lilith give the order to S Snake, I want to say like last chapter, or when after she turns York into stone and attacks them, it doesn't work. Her order doesn't work. And if it was Sentomaru to give the order, it should have worked because Sentomaru's lower on that hierarchy, right? But it didn't work. So it can't be, Sentomaru can't be the traitor. But he can be working with the traitor. He could possibly be working with the traitor, you know. Or he could be the traitor, but whoever he has to be working with somebody. Whoever he's working for has to be the person capable of ordering the Seraphim on at least on the same level of Vegapunk, at least. But is this a clue that he knows about this traitor though? I wonder if Sentomaru knows though. You know, does Sentomaru know about the world government agents? Does he know about this traitor on the island? Like, is he aware of all this? You know. All right, so we see a bit of a flashback with we see the people of Ohara, Robin, Saul, Clover, Dr. Clover, Nico Robin, or Nico Olivia, right? And we even see Aokiji in this little, I don't know if I call it a flashback, but, you know, it's like a little flashback picture, I guess. You know. It says, a refresher on the Ohara incident. The island of Ohara was host to the largest library in the world. Scholars gathered there to conduct research on the poneglyphs, despite the topic being taboo. The Navy was eventually sent in to eliminate everyone on the island, including the villagers. Nico Robin was the sole survivor of the massacre. I wouldn't say the sole survivor. We know that Saul also survived as well. Even though he's not from there, he was there though, and he survived the whole incident. Now we're back to the present, and Sentomaru says the fact they're targeting Grandpa Punk shows how serious they are about erasing him. They're willing to lose the world's greatest mind over this. So this is kind of playing into the idea that the world government knows what Vegapunk has been doing as far as researching poneglyphs and things like that. So yeah, I think Sentomaru is definitely aware that the world government knows what Vegapunk's been doing. We see Egghead. We see Egghead Island in the background, and he says, "What?" Or that's why I think whatever's coming will be even more monumental, and this place will be ground zero. Huh? Straw Hat. What's going on up there? Sentomaru's thinking in his head. Bro, you know what I'm starting to think? Something in my head just like what Sentomaru just said. What Sentomaru just said made me think about Lelougia, right? It made me think about Lelougia. He said something's coming that's gonna be worse than Ohara, right? That thing that happened at Lelougia Island, I would say that's worse than Ohara. You know what I mean? Because that's like a beam that just came destroyed the island. My question, what that made me think. That thing that we seen at Lelougia that destroyed Lelougia Island, that I said could be Uranus or maybe another. To me, the fact that it was able to destroy an island in one swoop, right? One swoop. It made me think that was an ancient weapon. I thought Uranus, but I said maybe it's not Uranus, right? Maybe it's not Uranus. I don't think it's Poseidon, And based on what we know of Pluton, I doubt it's Pluton as well. So I don't think I don't believe it to be Poseidon. You know, we know what Poseidon is, so it's not Poseidon. I don't believe it to be Pluton. You know, because I think Pluton is still at Wano at the moment, and I don't believe for certain. I'm not sure if it's Uranus. But one thing I also said, one thing I've said before, since we got the reveal of Saturn, the name Saturn, right? Saturn is the name of a planet. We also know that the ancient weapons outside of Poseidon are all named after, or they're after Roman gods who are also named after planets as well, right? Like we know Uranus is Uranus the planet, right? Uranus the planet, also the god Uranus, or the primordial god, the one the embodiment of the heavens and the skies, Uranus, right? In Roman text, Roman mythology. Pluton is kind of named after the planet Pluto, or the Roman god Hades, or Greek god Hades, but Roman Pluto, right? Or is it, yeah, Pluto? So Greek Hades, Roman Pluto. Saturn, I don't remember what Roman god Saturn is, or Greek version of the Roman god Saturn, right? But I think Saturn is a Roman god. I just don't know the Greek counterpart to match him with, right? I said that the Gorosei could be ancient weapons themselves, or like as strong individually as ancient weapons. We know that Saturn is out and about, right? He's out. How long has Saturn been out though? You know, like how long has Saturn been out and about? Cause was he at Lelusia Island? Was Could Saturn have been the one to, maybe Saturn has some devil fruit ability or some type of ability, hockey, I don't know, where he can summon something that rains devil fruit. What up? You know what I'm saying? Could Saturn have done that to Lelusia is pretty much what I'm getting at. And we also know, based on what Sitamaru said, it sounds like we could be getting a repeat of Lelusia, right? Like it sounds like that could be headed this way as well. What else is headed this way? Saturn and Kizaru. But could that have been Kizaru that did that at Lelusia? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm saying Kizaru and Saturn are showing up, and if Saturn, let's say Saturn did that at Lelusia, and based on what Sentomaro said, it sounds like whatever's happened in Lelusia could be coming to Egghead Island. We also know that Saturn and Kizaru are coming to Egghead Island. We can also make the argument that was Kizaru that did that at Lelusia. Because think about it. That looked like a light beam. That looked like a beam of light that did that to Lelusia. Kizaru is light. I'm just saying. But it seemed like whatever did that was a ship, though. It looked like it was some type of technology. That's why I'm thinking maybe Saturn has like some devil fruit that could summon like a big laser or whatever. I don't know. You know, I just think that's interesting. I think that's interesting. So we're at the control room, 4th floor, building A. So this is where Luffy, Zoro, the Seraphim, and Shaka and CP0 are all at. Someone says, Huff, what's up with these guys? And Luffy has a Kong, he goes for a Kong organ. Lucci goes for a handgun Yellow Lotus. And they both attack S-Bear and say, take that. But did they attack him in his waist? Because I see his hands out like this. It kind of looked like he could have probably caught their like use his paw ability to deflect their attacks. But it looked like they actually connected with his chest area. So I think they actually did hit him. Now we see Kaku, who is he is attacking S Hulk with a Tempest kick, and looks like S Hulk dodges it. And I think that's Kaku sending like air slashes at S Hulk, and he says on or so. Okay, so this is still the same attack. It's the Tempest kick onslaught, and we see Zoro one sword style. It says I lethal. Is that what's it? I lethal lion song, and we see. I guess he slashed. Is that a vertical slash? Look like a vertical slash on S Hulk. So we see these. So we're getting like combo attacks from Luffy and Lucci onto S Bear, and then we're getting combo attacks from Zoro and Kaku on S Hulk. We got S Bear and S Hulk. It's like they're just brushing off the attack that each duo just performed on them. And Luffy says, "What the heck, bruh? Hey, I'm just saying, bro. Like people, I've seen people really underestimate these Seraphim, bro. Like when we talk about will the Seraphim surpass their original counterparts, the original Shichibukai. Remember, they are just kids, and we're seeing them fight. We seeing S Bear fight Luffy, Gear 4 Luffy. Was it Gear 4 Luffy or was it Gear 3rd Luffy? It's Gear 4 Luffy. S Bear is fighting Gear 4 Luffy and Rob Lucci. S Hulk is fighting Zoro and Kaku. And they just brushing the damage off. They're still just kids. They're still just kids. You're bro, just imagine that they're going to keep growing in strength and power and durability and speed and all that stuff. Their devil fruit abilities are going to grow. How much? I don't know. But they're gonna keep growing, and if this is the case, remember Zoro. This is right now. I would say Zoro is pretty close to matching Mihawk himself. You know, seeing how we're getting closer to the end game, so I can only assume that Zoro is at that precipice of Mihawk's level. If Zoro is to fight Mihawk right now, I would say it probably would be. I would think Mihawk would still probably win, but it would be a mid to high diff. Maybe about a high diff on Mihawks. I'll say mid. I'll say somewhere in between mid and high diff, right? Or the Mihawk. But once Zoro does meet Mihawk, I think it's going to be a high diff fight. Zoro's going to win, of course. You know, that's Zoro's being built to beat Mihawk, right? And that's if Mihawk doesn't die and Zoro does actually fight him. It's going to be a high diff fight for Mihawk. But if they were to fight now, I would say it would be a high diff fight for Zoro. But if they were to fight now, I would say Mihawk would win in maybe a medium to high diff, right? And Zoro has help from Kaku, and he's having trouble just damaging S Hulk. Come on now, like S Hulk might if S Hulk was to fight Mihawk right now, I would still give it to Mihawk, but I would probably say S Hulk would probably do it would be a mid diff at the very least. You know, I don't think Mihawk's low diffing S Hulk. That Mihawk's my guy. Y'all know Mihawk's my guy, but I don't think Mihawk is low diffing. You know, I don't want to say Mihawk is going high diffing, but at the very least, it's going to be a mid diff. maybe high diff if Mihawk was to fight S Hawk, with Mihawk winning. But I would say when S Hawk reaches his potential, like when S Hawk reaches his limit, his highest potential, I think he's going to be stronger than Mihawk. Same with the other Seraphim. I think they're going to be stronger than their OG counterparts. Because Zoro's and Kaku are having trouble just damaging S Hawk. And I would say Zoro he's close to Mihawk at the very least. He's close to him. So S Bear and S Hawk are both getting up just after they brush off that damage. And Luffy says they're getting up way too easily. Do they think they're Kaido or something? Cut it out, bruh. Can the Seraphim beat Kaido? Can the Seraphim beat Yonko? Like that? Can the Seraphim beat the Yonko, the previous Yonko? I'm just, oh man, I don't know. Zoro says, now that you mention it, they remind me of King, that guy I fought in Wano. Shaka says, a Lunarian on Kaido's crew. I never caught what his people were called, says Zoro. So Zoro actually never heard of the term Lunarian, right? So is Shaka going to give us some exposition on the Lunarians? Like, will we get more explanation about what the Lunarians are? I think Vegapunk, be it Shaka, be it Stella, I think Vegapunk is going to be the best option to tell us about the lineage of, or the history of the Lunarians. If anybody's going to be that, I think it's going to be Vegapunk. Or if there's like another Lunarian out in the world that we aren't aware of, maybe. I don't know, but I think Vegapunk probably knows the most. He did his research. He was able to replicate their DNA and clone their DNA and create these Seraphim, which act as Lunarians as well. So I hope we get an explanation. Shaka says, I see. That must have been Auber. The test subject who long ago escaped Punk Hazard with Kaido. Bruh, one thing I've always said, man, I'm upset that we didn't get more on King's flashback. And Kaido as well. Both King and Kaido. And we didn't get nothing from Queen. But, I mean, we kind of are getting something from Queen in the cover story. So, I hope we get more about King, though. I really do. Shaka says the Seraphim owe their toughness to his Lunarian blood. Zoro's, and it might be Zoro talking. He says, no kidding. In that case, pay attention to the flames on their backs. Bro, I love this. I love to see Zoro using some previous battle knowledge that he gained to share it with the others to you know what I'm saying? I love that we're getting some continuity out here where we getting the callback of Zoro having to learn how to fight King, and he's actually executing that knowledge in the current battle. I love it. You love to see it. He says our attacks will only be effective when they go out. And I think that's Luffy talking. He says, really? And Zoro says he was practically invincible when he was on fire. And then Zoro says, my bad, if I've clocked it sooner, I could have saved us some stamina. And Rob Lucci says, no matter. With this intel, we can finally make some progress. But that is, you know something? That is actually good though. Cause now we know, I mean, we've known this before, but it's just weird that nobody ever really pointed it out again, right? Or brought it back up. But we know that the Seraphim have a clear weakness. So later down the line, when they're like a big threat, when they're like causing all type of hell because they're like just overpowering every freaking body, we know that now this weakness, with this information, and especially the more people that learn about this weakness, they have a way to actually combat the Seraphim, and have an actual chance. You know, Zoro says, yeah, there wasn't much about King to clue me in. He only had a couple of unique features: white hair, brown skin, black wings, and the flames on his back. And they all yell at him, say, "You should have put it together sooner." Bruh, this man Zoro, bro, like, how do you not notice that? How do you not notice that, my guy? Bro, all that he act like it was like one thing. One thing they all have in common. Everything he mentioned, white hair. The Seraphim have white hair, brown skin. The Seraphim had brown skin, and they all have flames on their back. Come on now, Zoro. Come on now. We see Shaka walking off, and Luffy says, "Hey, Helmet, where are you going?" Shaka says, "I think I may know where the Stella's gotten to." Shaka being hella sus. Shaka being, how do you know where Stella has gotten to? And it's weird that now all of a sudden you know where he is, when the Seraphim are keeping the Straw Hats and CP0 busy. Now you know where Stella is. Why didn't this idea come to your head a little sooner? You are a Vegapunk, so you're smart enough where you should have been able to possibly deduce this a little sooner. I'm just saying. Shaka is acting a little sus now. And we see Zoro and S-Hawk clashing with Shaka walking away in the background. I don't know if S-Hawk was trying to kill Shaka. Maybe he was. Maybe yeah. So because I think before, when Shaka was walking away, S-Hawk was looking, and then I assume he went after Shaka, and Zoro stepped in the way to block him. Zoro says, "We're in a bit of a rush." S-Hawk is looking a little worried. And then we're cutting to third floor building A. We even got Nami fighting. Nami says, "Let's go, Zeus." Zeus says, "Yeah." And Nami says, "We can't treat him like a queen." Or not a queen. Why I say queen? We can't treat him like a kid. So yeah, Nami is fighting S-Shark, but is she fighting S-Shark by herself? What if Nami actually beat S-Shark, bro? And Zoro and Luffy are having trouble with their Seraphim, and they have partners, but Nami solo S-Shark by herself, bro, that'd be wild. But I think who was Nami with? Nami was with trying to remember what party Nami was with. Was she with? I don't remember what group she was with. All right, so Brook is laid out on the floor. His head popped off of his body, and Brook says he's a heartless killing machine. One of our friends has already been ambushed, and he basically totaled Edison. Ugh, says Edison. So I don't know if this is Brook talking or if this is Nami talking. I'm starting to think that the Seraphim aren't really even after the Straw Hats. I think they might just be after the other Vegapunks and CP0, maybe. You know, cause right now it seemed like, from what we've been getting this chapter, we see S-Hawk go after Shaka. It seems like they're just after the like last chapter. It seemed like they were after CP0. In this chapter, it seemed like they're after the Vegapunks. So at no point did it really was ever really like stated that they were trying to fight the Straw Hats. Just the Straw Hats were more attacking them. You know, like even Boa, right? The Boa Seraphim S Snake. She when they all jumped down, she just kind of was just watching. It's not like she tried to follow up on attacking the rest of the Straw Hats or anything. And I think one of the other Vegapunks might have been with them as well, but you know, she didn't seem like she was too in the rush to try to attack the Straw Hats. You know, even though it's like she accomplished taking out Yurt and then just kind of let the Straw Hats bounce. But they had another Vegapunk, so I don't know if that's necessarily, you know, a good argument. Nami says he's definitely not a kid and he's not cute either. And then Zeus says, that's right, Nami. Don't hesitate. Close your eyes if you have to. Just fling me and I'll handle the rest. So Nami hits a thunderbolt. We see that same attack that Nami did to what's her name? Ulti. Ulti. We see the same attack where Nami did with Ulti was like Zeus turns into a big ass black cloud and just pretty much zaps right through you. We see S Sharks, his eyes are white. He's like blowing smoke out his body or out his mouth. And Nami says, I'm sorry, Jinbei. And then S Shark just falls into the floor. Like, don't look like he purposely means to do that, but he like falls into the floor as if it was like falling in the water. Like, you know, with his devil fruit ability. And Brook says, splash. Because like Jinbei also splashes into the water. And Brook says, he dove down again. Nami-san, run. He's coming from below. For a second, I thought S Shark was out of it for a second. I thought Nami soloed S Shark for a second. And then Nami says, what? And then Zeus says, it didn't work. Oh, it looked like he was passing. It looked like S Shark was passing out into the floor, right? It looked like he like fell, like he was passed out. And maybe his devil fruit activated while he passed out. And then he falls into the floor. But no. He was just going into the floor to get an ambush attack. S Shark comes from the floor behind Nami. And Brook, I guess, is trying to he's trying to go for attack. All Bade. That's a and Brook says, "Oh, if I ruled a country, my decrees would be simple. Decree 1: anyone who threatens Nami-san will face capital punishment." Is it Brook talking or is it Sanji talking? It sounds like something Sanji would say, but it looked like it's coming from Brook though. He says, Decree 9: anyone who makes her scream will receive a rare fillet strike. And then we see Sanji with a straight up gut kick the S Shark, who was right behind Nami. So Sanji pretty much makes that save. That I'm trying to remember the last time Sanji did that kick. I feel I feel like he did that kick before, but I forgot who did it, or I forgot who he did it to. Was it Jabra? Nah, I don't. Who did he did that kick to? I don't remember. We get a translator note. It said the numbers used might be a pun as nine and one can be combined to form quay, which can imply fishing, seafood in some contexts. Okay. So it says the decree nine. Anyone who makes her scream will receive a rare fillet strike. So we see that fillet strike kick that Sanji's doing the S sharp. Nami says, Sanji Kun. And Sanji says, are you okay, Nami-san? I can take care of this. You won't get another warning, small fry. Like, that's Sanji yelling at S sharp. And then Sanji says, Huff, Huff, I don't give a damn if you're a kid or if you're another Jinbei. I'll be your judge, jury, and executioner. Jin Brat. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Sanji, like the other groups that are fighting the Seraphim, they're not aware of this weakness that Zoro talked about with Kaku, Lucci, and Luffy, right? Like that weakness about the fire going out in their back. That's when they're vulnerable, right? Sanji doesn't know this, so if they could get the message somehow to the other Straw Hat groups, then it will give them all more of a fighting chance. Cause I don't think, cause if you look, Jinbei's back is all like the fire is burning pretty brightly. Seems like when Sanji kicks him. So I'm pretty sure Jim or S Shark is going to take that attack to the chin. Now we're on third floor, building C. And Lilith says, how dare you petrify York? And Lilith fires her bubble gun at S Snake, who seems like she just deflects it. I don't know if she deflects it or if she dodges it, but it looked like she deflects it. And Usopp says, whoa, she just brushed it off like it was nothing. And then S Snake just collapses. She just collapses on the floor. And Usopp says, huh? So it's more to this bubble gun. It must be more to these bubbles than that meets the eye than them just being bubbles, right? Like, I mean, seeing how Lilith is using it as a weapon, these bubbles have to have some offensive capabilities. I know she emphasized how it's like great defensively, but it must have some offensive capabilities. Especially seeing how S Snake just collapses after taking that bubble. S Snake is laying on the ground and she says, "What?" So the Seraphim can talk, and I thought, was it S Hawk? I think it might have been S Hawk. I feel as though S Hawk said something earlier. I feel like, and I think I might have said it was Zoro talking, but it seemed like S Hawk was the one to talk. It seemed like S Hawk might have talked. Like, no, that might have been Zoro. I think that was Zoro because if you look and it says "Don't get in the way," right? I thought S Hawk was telling Zoro like, "Look, I'm trying to attack Shaka. Don't get in the way." But I think that was Zoro that said, "Don't get in the way," and then he says, "We're in a bit of a rush." So I don't think S Hawk talked. But S Snake, though, on the other hand, she definitely talked. She definitely talked. She said, "What?" And then Lilith says, green blood gives you the pros and cons of having a fruit ability. Okay, so we're getting more explanation on how these fruit abilities these seraphim have. So it said they still the green blood. Okay, okay. So that confirms a lot right there. That statement that Lilith just said, it confirms a lot. It confirms a lot. It is indeed the green blood that gives these seraphim these devil fruit abilities. So so like I said, the seraphim never ate devil fruits. I remember I was arguing with somebody. I was like, bro, I don't think the seraphim ate devil fruits. You know, and based on what Lilith just said, she says that the green blood gives you pros and cons of having a devil fruit or having a fruit ability. So, yes, they got all the abilities that a devil fruit user would have without actually eating the devil fruit, but they also have the cons. So I'm thinking that even artificial devil fruits do indeed have the cons or the weakness of devil fruits. And I'm assuming this bubble has like some water, like, you know, kind of like a sea stone. It's kind of like sea stone. So these might be like sea stone bubbles without actually being sea stone. And Lilith says, and these bubbles were designed to harness the ocean's energy. They're your weak point. Bro, these bubbles are great defense against devil fruit users. I like it. I like it. That bubble got, bro. I've been saying, yo, I'm telling you, if somebody like Frankie or Usopp get like the bubble technology, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think that could be a hell of an upgrade. I would say more for Usopp, cause bruh, he would have a good way to defend himself. You know, like he's a sniper, but let's say when attacks are coming his way, he could defend himself. Cause we know Usopp just tanks attacks, bro. Not really tank them, but he just takes them. He takes them, get hurt, and get back up. Man, Usopp is durable. Let's we gotta give Usopp his flowers when it comes to durability. Like he takes attacks. Don't get me wrong. He takes damage, but his ability to keep moving on after taking damage, it's impressive. It's impressive. It might be Zoro level. It might be Zoro level. I'm sorry. It might be. It might be. Or at least it's the second most impressive next to Zoro. You know, I would say Luffy, but Luffy also absorbs a lot of attacks, so it's harder to damage Luffy. Where Zoro actually takes damage, but he gets back up. Where Luffy, a lot of attacks don't damage him. It's hard to damage Luffy in general. Zoro gets damage. It's just his tenacity, bro. His tenacity. Usopp says, "Yeah, you're freaking awesome, Lilith." And Lilith is laughing, "Ee." And Frankie says, "I'll catch her while she's down." And like Frankie like tries to jump on Lilith, or not Lilith, S Snake, and S Snake says, "Stay back, you impotent lout." And Frankie said, And then Lilith or Frankie says, "Guess it's already worn off." That's and Lilith says that's because it only grazed her, bro. So it's dope that now we know that these seraphim could definitely talk, but it's like why she's hella talkative though. S Snake is hella talkative. So we see S Snake make like that face, like that disappointed face, like that. You know where anime characters make their cheeks big, like she make that face, and she sends a beam. She fires a beam at Lilith and Usopp, and then as she's firing that, we see Frankie right behind her with that big ass bubble, and he about to clock the hell out of her with that. And then he just taps her with it. It just says tap, and then she loses all her strength. And Frankie says, "Take that, you rascal!" And he pretty much just like buries the bubble over S Snake. And then Usopp says, "Frankie, you genius." And Lilith says, "You used that bubble perfectly." And Frankie says, "Give up already, runt." And S Snake, she's crying. She's crying. She says, "This is agonizing." Frankie says, "Oh, sorry." So no, Frankie, man, you better not fall for that, bro. Frankie, you better not fall for it. Don't fall for it for 1 second. Somehow S Snake is able to get from under the bubble. Like we didn't see Frankie per se take the bubble off of her, but she's managed to get the bubble off her, and she performs a perfume femur, femur, a perfume femur. Yeah, so it's kind of like femur, and then she turns Frankie into stone, but it's only like half of Frankie's body. So I guess like when Frankie said, "Oh, sorry," it's that emotion that Frankie like released that maybe caused him to be vulnerable to her devil fruit. Because it's not like Frankie was lusting after that snake, but I suppose he made himself vulnerable to her devil fruit ability when he felt sorry for her, right? And then Frankie said, "This petrification power is no joke." And we see half of Frankie's body turning into stone. And Usopp says, "Gaia, Frankie's turning to stone. He's going to die." And then Lilith does a bubble. She uses the bubble gun, which S Snake manages to dodge. She dodges in between all of the bubbles, like three bubbles. And then she winks. And then she's like right in front of Lilith and Usopp, and she winks. And they both say, "Aww." And then she hits him with a love, love mellow. And and Usopp and Lilith are both turned to stone. Question is, how does Frankie and Usopp become unpetrified? Right? How do Frankie and Usopp unpetrify themselves now? Because they're going to have to pretty much get S Snake to turn them back. But whoever's controlling them, if they're indeed an enemy and they're trying, they're a real enemy and they're trying to kill everybody, I don't see them ordering S Snake to do such a thing, right? I don't see that happening. So like, how is S Snake gonna unpetrify him? I don't get it. Like, unless Boa does it, unless like unless Frankie, Usopp, Lilith, and York stay stoned for a while, and eventually Boa comes into the picture and she does it. I don't see how that's going to happen. I don't see how they become unpetrified. So we go to the underground old devil fruit research lab, and we see a shadowy figure going up these steps. He says, "Hmm," or going down the steps. Going down the steps. He says, "Hmm." Then we see those big what would you call those tubes? They're like pods, these big pods, the same pods that that Vegapunk and all the the Cypher Po agents were imprisoned at. And someone said, "Who's there? Are you the one behind all this?" Come out and show yourself. And of course, it's Shaka. Shaka says, it can't be. You're those Cypherpole agents. I thought you had come and gone ages ago. Why are you here? So Shaka is starting to look a little less suspect. He's starting to seem a little less. He genuinely seems like he don't understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because if he's lying, right? Like, let's say if he is the traitor and he's working against Vegapunk, why is he acting like he's in the position of control, right? Like, he's free there in prison. Why is he acting like, like he don't know what's going on? Because if he's really the traitor, he would be like, yeah, I did do all this, but because he's in like a dominant position at the moment, so he doesn't really have much of a reason to be sitting here lying, in my opinion. So it genuinely does seem like Shaka doesn't understand what's going on. But how would he have guessed that Vegapunk was there though? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess maybe this was like an old room that hasn't been being used, so he just kind of like, maybe I should go check out that room, because it's like the least expected place. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I could still be wrong. He could like make a change. He could be like, "Yeah, I was the one. I was just joking. I'm the one who did all this." Uh, so Vegapunk says Shaka, or Stella says Shaka, and Shaka starts running towards the pod. And he says, "Stella, so this is where you are, or so this is where you were." Shaka says, "Who could have done this? I'm so glad you're okay. Let me help." And Vegapunk says, "Say, Shaka, who's that you brought with you?" Shaka says, "What?" And then we see a gun. It says, "Click." And we get One Piece chapter 1077 end. But the chapter ain't over yet. The chapter ain't over. We still got another page. Shaka took a shot straight to the head. This man took a shot to the head like he dead. That is a straight through the head, bro. Shaka took that to the head. Now, maybe Shaka's a cyborg, so a cyborg probably could survive this, but that was a headshot. If Shaka is indeed human, he should be dead, man. He should be dead. But Shaka took that to the face. To the face. Bro, Shaka might really be done after this. Shaka took, so any Shaka suspicion, unless this is an act. This could be an act though. You do this in front of Vegapunk to remove yourself from any suspicion. Because this is a convincing act if Shaka still is bad, but he took that to the face though. He took that to the face. Vegapunk said, "Shaka." And then the other Cypherpole agent said, "Gaia, he's been shot. What's going on? Who was that?" And it's like blood just splurting out of Shaka. I think Shaka might have been human, bro. I think Shaka low-key was human. And somebody is like on the higher level of the flight of steps, and we see like smoke, I guess, coming from a gun, but we just see the smoke. And we hear like katak, katak, katak. Is he coming down the steps? And we see Stella's eyes get super wide. We got like snot coming out. And it says, "Snuffing out hope with a single shot." Bro. Yo, what? Yo, so I don't know, man. So far, Shaka's not really looking like the traitor. So far, so far. Could it be an act though? The question is, could it be an act? Could Shaka be doing this to make himself seem like he's not part of it, right? Or is Shaka truly dead? Because he took that to the face. And any human to take a shot like that, bro, you're not living. You're not living. I mean, this is One Piece, so One Piece humans are a little different than us, right? But he took that to the face, bro. It's like that's kind of like reminiscent of when Lucky Roo shot that bandit in the beginning of One Piece. We never really see people take shots like that. That was to the face. That is a fatal shot, I will say. But if Shaka is like a cyborg though, he probably could survive that though. I would think he could survive that. But a normal human, you're not taking that. You're definitely not taking that. Let's talk about the chapter. Let's talk about it. So we start off with Sentomaro. He's pretty much telling the lab workers like, "Hey, y'all got to get out of here. Y'all got to get out of here." You know, and one thing he does is, he's telling them like, "Hey, things about to get thick. Things about to go crazy on this island." He brings up Ohara. He says, "Look, y'all heard about Ohara? Ohara was an island of some philosophers. They had the biggest library in the world. They were doing poneglyph research, and because of all that research they were doing, they became enemies of the world government, and the world government destroyed the island." And then he said, "There's something worse that might be coming to this island." Right? That's what he said. There's something worse that could be coming to this island, and that made me think. Right? What could be worse than Ohara that could be coming to this island? I think Oda was using Sentomaro to foreshadow a great threat coming to this island. Something that's on the level of a Buster Call. What else we know that is or higher, not just on the level, but possibly higher level of a Buster Call when it comes to the catastrophic damage it could do? What could be worse than the Buster Call? Whatever that thing was that destroyed Lugia. That's what I'm betting. That's what I'm betting, right? So, who else is coming to Egghead Island? Kizaru, Saturn. Now, I've stated once before that I believe that the Gorosei, since they're named after planets, right? What else is also named after planets? Roman gods. Like the Roman gods. We got like Jupiter, which is, I want to say Zeus. Saturn, I forget who Saturn is. Neptune is Poseidon, right? Neptune is Poseidon. Pluto is Hades. And then Uranus is the primordial god of like the one that came before the Titans and the normal Greek gods. He's the embodiment of the heavens in the sky, right? So I've stated before, I believe that the Gorosei themselves individually might be on the level of ancient weapons. Seeing how they're named after planets / Greek god or Roman gods, the ancient weapons are also named after planets / the Roman gods. All of them except Poseidon. Poseidon's named after, but Poseidon is still related to Neptune though, right? So it's a connection there. It's not named after Neptune, but there is a connection with Poseidon and Neptune. Pluto though, Pluton is named after Pluto, Hades, all that. You guys get the point. Come to find out, one of the Gorosei members is named after Saturn, which I don't know the Roman god Saturn is, but there is a Roman. Saturn is a Roman god, and that will also leave the other Gorosei members possibly to be named after planets as well, and indirectly Roman gods. So it just makes me think: are the Gorosei super strong, or are they like I mean, they've been living long enough, so I would think they're super strong, man. Possibly some of the strongest beings in the verse. So it makes me think, like, could they be ancient weapon level strong? One thing we know is Saturn, he's out and about. He's left Mary Jo while. We don't know when he left Mary Jo, but he left Mary Jo at some point. Did they send him? I'm gonna have to look back on that chapter to see if he was present when they were talking about sending something to that whole Illusia incident. Was he present when they showed the Gorosei members? If they showed the Gorosei members, I'm gonna have to look back at that chapter, see if he was there or whatever. But if he was gone, maybe he went to Lelusia to destroy Lelusia, right? With his own abilities or whatever. You know, maybe that could have also been Kizaru. Kizaru does light beam attacks. Maybe he has an attack that could do that as well. But I want to roll with Saturn though. I want to roll with Saturn. So if Saturn shows up, that might have been what happened to Lelusia. Might have been Saturn's doing. And since he's showing up at Egghead Island, this is kind of Sentomaru hinting at Saturn being the catastrophe to come to Egghead Island. That's kind of what I'm getting. That's kind of what I believe. You know, just saying. So, yeah. We also get kind of a refresher on what happened at Ohara. We all know what happened to Ohara. And then we cut to Luffy, Rob Lucci, Zoro, Kaku, both fighting S-Bear and S-Hawk, right? And then Shaka says, hey, I think I know where Vegapunk might be. He was seeming a little suspect, like he probably knew this whole time, right? But he was seeming a little suspect. And then he leaves, and it seems like S-Hawk tries to attack Shaka, but Zoro manages to intercept S-Hawk, right? And another thing about this fight, while they're fighting, they all get some good attacks on the Seraphim, but the Seraphim pretty much brush off the damage. And Zoro makes an observation. He says, hey, they kind of remind me of King. And before Shaka actually leaves, Shaka explains to Zoro, like, yeah, they're based on, like, they got like Lunarian DNA, and they make the connection with King and Arbor, like back when Vegapunk was doing research on Arbor and everything, and the Seraphim. And so that also makes Zoro remember, like, oh, I remember about a fight. I remember that fight with King, and then he tells the his allies, like, look, these Seraphim, they got this flame on their back. When it goes out, that's when they're vulnerable to being to for us to do damage. So we gotta wait till the fire go out for us to do damage. And they're like, okay, thanks for the information. He's like, I'm sorry I didn't tell y'all that earlier. It's just, you know, I just didn't put two and two together. You know, King had the brown skin, the white hair, and the black wings, and they was like, bro. Lucci, Kaku, and Luffy were like, bro, like, how did you not connect that a lot sooner than you did, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing? So, yeah, that happened. And then we also see the other Straw Hats fighting the other Seraphim. Nami was fighting S-Shark, and she uses Zeus to temporarily knocked out Jinbei or S-Shark. What it looked like. It looked like she temporarily knocked him out with Zeus. But S-Shark just retreated into the ground, came behind Nami, but Sanjay intercepts S-Shark, and you know he's pissed off. Don't you dare touch Nami, right? He attacks the Seraphim, and yeah, and then he sends them flying. But you know, of course, it's not going to do that much damage. They are Seraphim. They are super tough, but we don't really get what happened after. Like, we don't get the results of Sanji's attack, but I think we can all surmise that S Shark is going to get back up. We cut to Usopp, Lilith, and Frankie's group. And Lilith or S Snake is pretty much coming for Lilith, but Lilith shoots her bubble gun, and it grazes or no, it doesn't graze, but S Snake like deflects it. So it did graze S Snake, but it's because she deflects it, right? And then after she deflects it, it weakens her. So come to find out that these bubbles, this bubble technology, it almost it's kind of like Sea Stone, where it copies the principles of the sea, to where it makes Devil Fruit users weak to it, you know. So it plays to the weakness of Devil Fruit users, and Lilith also confirms that it is the green blood that gives the Seraphim Devil Fruit like abilities, but it also gives the Seraphim Devil Fruit weaknesses as well. So it's pretty much confirming that the Seraphim didn't eat Devil Fruits. It's just the green blood acting as a Devil Fruit, feeding them Devil Fruit abilities, and making them susceptible to Devil Fruit weaknesses as well. So she continues on to her attack, but S Snake attacks Lilith and Usopp with like a beam. Frankie takes that bubble that S Snake deflects, and then she pretty much just like sits it on top of her, making her weak. Somehow she gets out of that. I don't know if Frankie takes the bubble off of her, or if she gets, I don't know, maybe move the bubble. I don't know, but she manages to turn Frankie into stone, and then after turning Frankie into stone, she turns Usopp and Lilith into stone as well. So then we cut to the little prison that Vegapunk, the Stella Vegapunk is at, them little tubes, and Shaka is pretty much going down to this underground facility, right, to see if Vegapunk is there. And then he meets Vegapunk, and from what it seems like Shaka had no clue about all this. He's confused. He's like, yo, what's going on? There's the government agents. What are they doing here? What's up with all this? Right? And so he is about to help Vegapunk and these Cypher Pole agents. He's pretty much about to free him. But we see someone in the shadow. We see a gun pointed in the shadow, and he fires it. Whoever this mystery person is, they fire the gun, shoot Shaka right in the head. Don't know if Shaka is going to be able to survive this or what. Shaka seems to be dead. He's out. Vegapunk is shocked. The Cypher Pole agents are all shocked. We don't know who this person is, but there are some clues of who it could be, right? Like we see smoke coming from, like we see on top of the steps of flight, we see smoke coming from like a shadowy figure, and we see smoke. We don't even really see a shadowy figure. It's just darkness, right? But we see smoke cutting through the darkness. We also hear like a tick-clack, like a sound. It's kind of, or like a katak sound, right? Like maybe metal hitting the metal grating of the steps, right? That's what it kind of sound like. And one idea that kind of came across of who this could be, someone who smokes, right? Like, I don't know if the smoke is coming from the gun, like the barrel of the gun, or if it's somebody smoking a cigar or like a cigarette or some sort, right? But I'm thinking of characters that smoke, characters that might walk and make a sound like katak. When I'm thinking of like somebody walking making a katak sound, it sounds like metal hitting metal, right? So I'm thinking it has to be somebody with metal legs. But maybe not just any metal legs. Maybe like sword metal legs, right? It's kind of like a blade. Like I said, like a blade hitting metal, right? Kind of like this blade I got hitting metal. Like right? Katak, it's kind of like that sound. So my thought, right? My thought was, could we be seeing Shiki? Could Shiki be on Egghead Island? I'm I'm gonna just stay that now. You know, I'll probably go into more detail later. Like you'll probably see another video where I go more detail later. But I'm gonna put that out now. I think Shiki might be at works. I think Shiki might be at work. But yeah, y'all, that is a way you end the chapter right there. That's the way you end the chapter. I don't know if Shaka is really dead or if this is some type of act to take some of the suspicion off of Shaka. Cause I could see it just being an act just to make it seem like he's not part of this, right? But y'all let me know. What do you guys think? Y'all let me know down in the comments. But yeah, that is pretty much the reaction. That is the chapter, y'all. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What did I miss? Let me know in the chat or let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live. You can engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want to get at me. But the best place to get at me will be the Discord. I'm usually the most active in the Discord. If you want to send me content to react to, we got the Discord. I have a channel in the Discord specifically for that. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, make sure you are a member of the Discord. All of these will be in the description box down below. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.